But let's jump into this good content without no further do's or don'ts. You feel me? Let's get into this content without no further do's or don'ts, man. We got the lady who did the Crips LLC. She is speaking out. Big shout out to her. She going out with Big U and Snoop Dogg over Cola. Yeah, that's actually what I was finna get into. Shout out to Moving Through Your Hood, one of my new favorite pages. Hey, Moving Through Your Hood, bro. Feel free to use as much of my content as you want, bro. I would never in life copyright strike you. I would never complain. Continue to get your chili, bro. Go ahead, Moving Through Your Hood. You one of my new
Under Armour. No.
Big shout out to Moving Through Your Hood, man.
Athletes. It showcases every ounce of what an athlete means.
It means I can keep training even in the dead of winter.
I can just put on my gear and pursue what I need to.
Look good, play good.
The best in the game.
Man, okay.
When it came time to take things to the next level, I knew that I had to make a website. And Wix,
you know, they're trademarking the marathon.
Hey, Moving Through Your Hood. I'm gonna use you as an example. Y'all see how Moving Through Your Hood came in and I immediately show him love and I'm acknowledging that I've used his content because I'm giving him his credit because that's effective and respectable journalism. Yeah, that's all I ask. That's all I ask. You feel me? Hey, I appreciate you, bro. Keep sharing me on the MMA side. You see how every time I use Moving Through Your Hood's videos, I show him love. Hey, Moving Through Your Hood is where I got this from. Gangland Tay Luciano. Watch how many niggas use my shit and don't get the same respect and don't get the same love. Watch how many niggas, Gangland Tay Luciano. Watch how many niggas use my shit, don't show love, don't show respect, don't be like, hey, my nigga, I got this from Rich Trapper and blah, 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 this and blah, 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 that. Flu flammers, but let's keep going. But it's just as easy as showing love as I just did with Moving Through Your Hood. It don't hurt to show niggas love. It don't hurt at all.
Continues, you know, I believe this happened just a couple months after Nipsey passed in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all this happens, you know, so, you know, a lot of people, you know, they were mad at you. I don't think they understood or knew what was going on. You know, can you kind of break down that whole situation?
A lot of people are still mad.
For those of y'all who don't know, this is a lady who LLC the word Crips and the marathon continues. In her mind, she thinks that she was doing a good deed because she says that Big U was trying to take it from the family. She thinks that she stepped in to do a good deed and blah, blah, blah. It's all up for interpretation at this point. I'm not saying she did. I'm not saying she didn't. I'm just saying this is what happened.
Mad to this day about me trademarking the marathon. And this is actually the first time I've ever spoken about it publicly.
But it doesn't make sense why you would trademark the marathon after Nipsey Hussle passed and then not say nothing with Back Sam.
And I did. I applied for the trademark. Just because I'm not.
Dre Nettles, I don't know who that is, bro, but I would like to find out.
In the streets as a lifestyle. I mean, it's here on my neck. That's what it says here. Street life. So I was very much.
That tattoo is older than all of this. I can damn near 100% guarantee that tattoo is older than everybody in this chat.
A part of the streets.
Street life, that's a very OG tattoo. Very OG tattoo.
But just because it's not my everyday lifestyle, I'm still connected in some ways. And what happened was when Nipsey died, they were trying to extort his estate in the streets. And it was being talked about. And I got wind of it. So, like I said, I'm not in the street, and I'm not, you know, on the.
I'm not sure if that's Brick's auntie. I have no idea if that's Brick Baby's auntie.
Violent tip and that kind of. So I had to sit back, woosah, collect my thoughts, and figure, what are you going to do to save this boy's estate? What are you going to do? I had to do something about it. I heard them talking about, you know, so. I said, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to trademark it and I'll tie it up legitimately in the trademark office and nobody can do nothing with the marathon. His Black Sam couldn't even do anything with the marathon because I tied it up.
And I'm not sure why you would tie it up so Black Sam can't do anything. And I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how this makes sense. You feel me? Like, if I can see you trying to get it out the streets, but if Black Sam can't use it, I'm not sure what the point is, if that's his brother's situation.
And although I did try to initially get in touch with his sister, I did send her a message through her DM, but they're mourning Nipsey's death. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really expect that she would call me back to talk about a message that I left in her DM.
I'm not saying she is. I'm not saying she's not, but I would assume, and this is an assumption, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me, so please don't allow me to make an ass out of you, just me. If I would assume if that's Brick's auntie, she would have contact on Brick we would have contact on the parties involved. No, I would assume.
DM, and she used to spend a lot of time at my house. She's friends with my youngest son. And so yeah, I did. I trademarked it. They were trying to extort it. Big U wanted it and Suge. Mm-hmm.
Do you have any idea what they were going to do with it?
Whatever they thought they could do with it. I would get plenty of calls from Suge.
Well, I don't understand why you wouldn't give it to the family. Like, so you didn't want the family to have either. Just say you was on a hustle. And if you was on a legal hustle, you was on a legal hustle. Like, and I can respect that. I'm not saying that it's ethically correct. I'm not saying that it's morally correct. I'm saying that it's what you did. And if that's business, it's business. You feel me? Okay, so she did give it to him once everything cleared up. Okay, cool. What's really going on in the service? Are you trying to have them buy it back? Okay, no, they say in the chat that she has since given it to him. So maybe we're a little late watching this content. So maybe, maybe when did this content come out? Let's see. Let's give it a full. Okay, so it came out about a month ago. Yeah, okay, so this situation came out about a month ago.
Talking about that. I mean, he called from prison talking about it. And so I was clear on what was going on. And yeah.
Welcome to Ogle School, where beauty meets legacy. Since 1973.
And I got it. And my intentions were not giving it to Big U and not giving it to Suge. No. Saving it for Nipsey's estate, because let me tell you what happened with Nip. My son, DG University, his name is Don. He does video. He's a video.
Oh, that's okay. So this might actually be Brick's auntie. DG is Don. Don is one of Brick's cousins. Don actually has done 2 music videos for me. I do know Don. I actually do know Don. So if that's Don's mother, then that is in fact Brick's auntie. If that is Don's mother, that is Brick's auntie. I know Don personally, and I actually knew Don before I knew Brick. Interesting. Mush the Great. Interesting. Very interesting.
And he was just starting out, but he hadn't built any content. And Nip was just starting out, and he didn't have a bag for a team or whatever the case was, somebody to come film and do it. So they got together in exchange. He said, Nip, I'll shoot you if you let me use the content to start building my portfolio for my videography business. And Nip said, man, you got a deal. So he shot Nipsey's first performance at the House of Blues. And from there, my son, started to build his resume. And that's how they did, So Nip looked out for my son. You know what I mean? And so it was only right for me to look out for his kids.
Now, I do know that to be a true story because, again, I do know Don and I did know Nip very well. That is actually a true story. That is not a lie. She's not flu-flamming. No, she's not talking about Don Zelly. It's a different one. My nigga Don Gold. This is interesting. Because she's not lying. So maybe her intentions were misinterpreted because, again, after, she has since given it back and all this blah, blah, blah. So maybe her intentions were misinterpreted. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe her intentions were just misinterpreted.
And that's what I did. And so, yeah, that's why I trademarked it. And as a matter of fact, Black Sam and I will eventually get together and sit down. And we just saw each other a couple weeks ago and, had a talk and laughed a little bit and about it and stuff like that. But yeah, I sure did. I trademarked it to keep it for his estate, for his children. And when you hear them talking about what they...
See, I don't think that, and I call me biased, because now I know the characters involved and she's saying things and all that kind of stuff. And I was witness to a lot of the things that she said. I saw a lot of things that she said. So maybe her intentions are being misinterpreted.
Got now and who split what with what out of the estate is because I looked out and it was only right. I didn't get any money for it. I didn't ask for any money. The thing was we did a vetting process to make sure that it went from us directly to his estate. And that's what happened. And they have it.
Okay, but they sued you at one point though, and you guys worked it out, or how did all that come together?
Well, that was the only way that they could obviously get in touch with us was through an attorney. So they did.
So that's the part that's kind of tricky, because you said that you reached out to his sister via DM, but then they had to reach out to you via attorney. So that's where things kind of can get tricky at. That's where things can get misconstrued, and that's where things can get a little wobbly, squabbly, wobbly, and all that kind of stuff. Because if they have to reach out to you via attorney, but you reach out to them via Instagram, it's like one can assume a lot of that.
Hired an attorney, I remember initially, and he just didn't seem like he was above board to me. He seemed like he might have been behind the scenes, on some.
Somebody in the chat is saying Black Sam had a trademark twice. Application filing date is 7/17/19. So I don't know.
Politics. And so I said
they could have reached you how you reached them. You know what? It's a tricky situation. Now, what I will say is, what I can vouch is Don is a good dude. I could vouch for Don being a good dude, and I could vouch for Don trading work for working services for content for Nip. I could vouch for that as well. Anything past that, we learning together, y'all. And if this is Don's mom, in fact, that is Brick Baby's aunt. Yes.
He asked for it, and I said, no, we're not giving it to you. And we didn't. Then they got another firm, because I don't even know if that really was coming from his estate or from Black Sam or whoever it was coming from. But then when I got to the point and saw that this is really, his estate, it's Black Sam and it's the family, and then we went ahead and did it. So that's what happened. They got in touch with us through that way. But yeah, there was no lawsuit. And even when it first happened, somebody from our organization released a statement saying that we'll never take them to court. We will not fight them in court. Well, we couldn't.
Okay, so she never wanted to fight anybody in court. She's saying her intentions was just making sure that it didn't go into the wrong hands or go where it didn't need to go.
Speak on what was going on at that point, but we just wanted them to know publicly that we ain't fighting y'all. This belongs to you guys. You know what I mean? And so eventually we handed it over. Yeah, there was no lawsuit.
Now this happens, and but people are still thinking people still think a lot of bad stuff about you. I'm glad you're here to clear it up, because a lot of people were really really mad about this. I remember when this happened.
Yeah, well, that's to be expected, because I'm not a person who, this is the first interview I've ever done. So I'm not into explaining, because for what? And I'm a person who's definitely in touch with reality. I don't think I'm bigger than the program, because anybody can get it. You see what I'm saying? It only takes about 1.2 pounds of pressure to pull a trigger. A baby can kill you. So I'm not above any of that. And
what if recording high quality content, editing like a pro, and streaming like a star was as simple?
But I just stay in my lane. I mind my business. I'm not gonna bother you, and I'm not gonna let you bother me.
Gangland Tay Luciano, if you be watching niggas, you know that everything that I said earlier in my chat about niggas copycatting and all that kind of stuff, I ain't told not one lie, bro. Not one lie. From the niggas you support to the niggas you don't support, you've seen everybody do exactly what I'm saying niggas do, Gangland Luciano.
You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And so I've never had to explain my actions for that. And as a matter of fact, I think it was probably.
I think that things might have only gotten this far between her and the estate of Nipsey Hussle because there wasn't clear communication, and maybe there might have been, maybe there might have been, missed DMs, missed calls, missed whatever. When if two people probably could have sat down and had a conversation, a lot of this could have been, you feel me? We wouldn't even have a story to talk about right now, for real, for real. If had a conversation and communication been a thing, there wouldn't be anything for us to talk about right now, because she would have saved the brand. She would have saved the marathon continues, trademark for the family and the state and all that kind of stuff. They would have got it, blah, blah, blah. Would have never been a big thing with Big U and Suge Knight and WACK 100 and all that kind of stuff. And, here we are. You feel me? So I'm not here to say yay or nay. I'm here to give y'all news you can use, some knowledge you can't get in college.
One of the most profound to this date lessons that I've taught, because when everybody found out that Nipsey did not own the Marathon Continues, and that was his brand, and he always spoke about ownership, trademarks went up 10,000% between 2019 when I trademarked it and 2020. It was the most amount of trademarks filed, applications filed in the history of the USPTO. So I did.
Wait, so she's saying that her filing for the trademark of the Marathon Continues made the world go get trademarks? That might be pushing it. That might be a little embellished, just a little bit.
Good. After that, that's all I heard about.
But what she is making is a good point. Handle your business. So if you ain't catching nothing else from her, Gary, what's the deal? If you ain't catching nothing else from this young lady, handle your business. If you ain't gonna do nothing else today, go handle your business. Go handle that paperwork for sure.
Intellectual properties, trademark in our culture, and so it was a good thing, you know. So yeah, I didn't come out explaining and that kind of thing. As long as my intentions were there, and I did what I set out to do, you know, I wouldn't hurt Lauren London like that, you know. My boyfriend, there was a 54th Street massacre back in 1984, you know, and my boyfriend was murdered the same way that Nipsey was murdered.
God bless the dead. God bless her falling in love.
In the street, you know. So I know the pain that Lauren London felt at that time. And she was a kid with him, you know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't dare, you know, do nothing like that to step on her feelings, her emotions, disrespect her like that. And yeah, so that's what it was for. You know, I hate that it had to, you know, be done that way. But I mean, that was the only way that I knew, the best way that I knew to do it, and the most effective way to do it, to make sure.
So is it possible that her intentions were good and maybe the execution wasn't the best, or maybe the execution might have been the best, but the intentions got misconstrued? Because I don't really see any malice here. She's not talking about anything for profiteers. She's not talking about anything for clout and all that kind of stuff. All this interview, we would never know what this woman looks like. Well, I would, because I know Don's mother and what she looks like and all that kind of stuff. Hey, Don's mom, if you're watching this, hey, pleasure to meet you unofficially. Don's the homie. I don't really see her like having, like, I don't see her being on Flu Flammery. Like, I don't see it. Like, I don't see the Flu Flam.
But that it didn't get into the wrong hands, because it's very valuable. Very valuable. And so when I said to Sam, I said, Sam, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for what, you know, I put you guys through. And he says, what you put us through by saving the marathon was nothing of what you saved us from. And so, you know, that was all I needed. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
What's up? This is Cam Capone.
All right, man. So we up out of here to the next. We're going to give y'all some more news you can use, some more knowledge you can't get in college. But for right now, we up out of here. We up out of here. We up out of here. Y'all know the deal, man. Red dots to the left. You know the rest. And it's free. Avenue Angel. So he's free. We up out of here, man.